Hello. Today I am going to teach you about arguments.
Okay. I like arguing. I like to win arguments with people.
Actually, argument is not about winning.
Yes, it is.
No. Argument is about the reasonable exchange of ideas in order to achieve a better understanding of the truth.
No, it isn't.
Actually, it is. Argument is when a person supports a claim, which is a proposition about a topic. The person supports the claim through reasoning and evidence, or examples. Then, the person addresses the counter-arguments of the opposition. By looking at the merits of both sides, the person can help the reader come to a reasonable conclusion.
I don't think that's true.
Well then, what do you think argument is?
I think arguing is when two people disagree about something, and so they argue with each other in order to find out who is right. If you win the argument, it means you are right and the other person is wrong.
Actually, that is not the purpose of a true argument. If arguing were just about winning, then that would make it less important what the truth actually was. If a person argues just so they can win, it would lead to manipulation of the truth in order to win. Instead, an argument is about listening to both sides so that a person can make an informed decision.
No, it isn't. Arguing is like fighting, except with words. It's when two people disagree.
Actually, arguments are for settling disagreements. It is useless to simply argue for the sake of disagreement. That is simply being oppositional. Arguments, whether they are verbal or in writing, always have a purpose. The purpose of an argument is to get a clearer estimation of the truth which can be reasonably agreed upon.
But if we agree, then we don't have an argument. We have to disagree in order to argue.
Yes, that is true, but we argue in order to settle the disagreement through a structured process. The first step is to make a claim, then support that claim, then look at the merits of the other side's counter-argument.
That sounds wrong. If I look at your side as having merit, then I might weaken my own argument. I don't see why I should help you win.
Again, it's not about winning. It's about understanding the value of a claim. By looking at the best arguments of the other side and overcoming them, you actually strengthen your argument.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
I just do. I don't have to explain my reasons. I am entitled to my opinion.
Actually, you are not entitled to your opinion if your opinion is wrong. You need arguments sometimes in order to tell if an opinion is wrong.
But how can it be wrong if it is my opinion?
Well, it is not wrong if you can support it with reasons and evidence, and if it is a stronger truth value than the opinion of the opposing side.
But it's my opinion.
Yes, but if your opinion cannot be supported by reasoning and evidence, or hold up under scrutiny, then it is probably not a very good opinion.
But I don't understand why I should scrutinize my own argument. Why would I criticize my own argument?
Actually, an argument is not really an argument until it has acknowledged counter-arguments. Until it faces scrutiny, it is merely a claim. Perhaps it is a well-supported claim, but it is not an argument. An argument is more than just a claim and support for that claim. An argument must allow for counter-arguments. When you allow your claim to be counter-argued, you show that your claim can bear scrutiny. This strengthens your claim.
I think I understand, but that sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, it is sometimes.
Is it the same amount of work for verbal arguments as it is for written arguments?
Verbal arguments are different from written arguments, but they also involve some work.
What is the difference between verbal arguments and written arguments?
Besides the obvious, the difference is really in the way you counter-argue. In a written argument, the author provides the counter-arguments. In a verbal argument, each person listens and overcomes the counterclaims of the other side.
How do you overcome the counterclaims of the other side?
There are probably many different ways to do this. One way is to simply ask questions about the other side's counterclaims. Then point out what is questionable about their answers.
But doesn't that annoy people? If you keep questioning their statements, they might get mad.
That is true. This is why it is important to ask your questions in the right way. No one likes to have their every statement argued against, so you must always argue in good faith.
Argue in good faith? What does that mean?
It means that you argue in order to understand something better, not in order to simply be disagreeable or defiant. Arguments are a cooperative discussion, not a contest. Arguing in good faith means that both parties approach the argument from this point of view. An even more important agreement in arguing in good faith is how you counter-argue. To argue in good faith means you acknowledge counter-arguments through reasoning and support, not by twisting someone's words so that you can be seen as winning.
But what if the other person won't argue in good faith?
Well, then you have three choices. You can either remind that person about arguing in good faith, try to rephrase your question in order to be less adversarial, or you can simply stop the argument.
How do I do that?
You simply agree to disagree.
That's because arguments are for settling disagreements, not causing them.
Now you've got it.
I think you're right.
I'm so glad you agree.